if you're wondering why this channel went quiet for so long, the very short answer is my health. Turns out life can throw us bigger challenges than leaky head gaskets, I can tell you that. Some of you probably know that I've been dealing with fibromyalgia for many years. The symptoms really started showing up in 2012, and I didn't get an official diagnosis until, 7 years later. It still seems to be kind of a new thing for medical science, but anyway. Over the last, just 6 years, things have gotten progressively worse. And what helps accelerate that are stressful events, and I had a bunch of stressful events happen in really quick succession. From my earlier video, the backstory, you know that I was taking care of my mom, and she passed away, and then I got COVID, Delta. Well, who didn't get COVID? I mean, yeah. And then several incredibly stressful family events. I lost a dear friend. I lost my dad. Yeah, it sounds like a sad country western ballad, doesn't it? But, and then I got a fugly case of pneumonia. Never had pneumonia before. Don't need to do that ever again. It almost sent me to the hospital, but I ended up surfing on the sofa basically for 2 months. So yikes, that was tough. But all of these stressful events pushed my fibromyalgia into what's known as stage 4. So in 2025, so last year, I went through a very intense series of therapies and treatments with the goal of getting well as opposed to just tackling individual symptoms. And to be honest, it was a very hard year. And there were many times I had to question, are the treatments worse than the illness itself? But, I stuck with it. And I tell you, 3 things kept me going. And that would be God, my husband, thank you, Paul, so much, and my car. And I don't know if I mentioned to you already about how my little E came into my life in a very mysterious and mystical way. And I'm telling you, it's a good story, and I'll tell you sometime. But for now, I'll just say that it was totally a God thing. I mean, numerous times in my young adult life, this car has saved me by gently steering me clear of some really crappy life decisions and shitty people. By keeping my focus on her, I had a lot less time to get into trouble doing other things. So, pretty simple equation there. During this last year or so, my little car has given me something positive to focus on, other than my health issues, because health issues, they can really suck up a lot of your bandwidth, and it's easy to wallow around in that. So she gave me a completely another headspace to be in, and that was magical. So this time, she's saved me once again by giving me hope. And I'll tell you what, hope is a very powerful medicine. Just knowing that my little car was down in here in the garage waiting for me to fuss over her, it gave me something to look forward to, especially on days where things were feeling pretty bleak. There were many times when I felt just well enough that I could put on my coveralls and head down here to the garage. And by the time I got down to the garage, my body just suddenly said, nope, not doing that. I would get hit by the severe fatigue, and or my brain would shut down. The brain fog is probably the worst, almost the worst part of this. And I honestly, I couldn't think my way out of a wet paper bag. And that is not a good way to be picking up tools and trying to make decisions. So it's like, I would just have to pat her on her head and say, sorry, little girl, not today, and head back up to the house, try not to cry. But the good news is my health is finally improving. I'm not completely out of the woods yet, but the light at the end of the tunnel is now visible, and I feel I'm making really good progress. And for the first time in a while, I'm getting more and more mental and physical bandwidth where I feel like, you know, hey, I can come out here and start working on the car and editing videos. So, woohoo! Hey, little wins, man. Just so, you know, thank you for sticking with me while I've been going through this process. And now you know why in some of the videos that you can see, I look more than a little worn out. I mean, I tell you, I had to gasp when I started editing the videos. I'm like, oh, looked like I'd been out on a three-day bender, but hey, whatever. You know, at least I was down here trying to get something done, so got myself on the back. But hey, let's get back to the project. Let's start turning wrenches and get stuff moving along. So thanks for keeping me company on this journey. Let's see what kind of trouble I can get into. And you know that I'm a master at that. All right, let's go.